Okay, welcome everyone. We're doing another deep dive today, looking at some really interesting source material you shared.
That's right. We're zeroing in on Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 to 9.
The Call of Abram. It's such a foundational story, and our mission really is to kind of unpack the key moments, maybe find some insights that aren't immediately obvious.
Yeah, see what really jumps out. And the material, it starts with a question that I think hits home for a lot of people.
Which is,
Have you ever felt that kind of pull? You know, being called to do something that just makes zero sense on paper.
oh, totally. But you feel it, like deep down, it's the right thing.
Exactly. That feeling, that tug that kind of defies logic but demands, well, faith.
Mhm.
That's precisely where Abram is at the start here.
Right, because God hits him with his command. It's simple, but I mean, incredibly radical.
Go from your country, your people, and your father's household.
To the land I will show you. And that's the kicker, isn't it?
It really is. The land I will show you.
Like, no Google Maps link, no travel brochure,
Right.
just go.
Nope, just go. The level of trust required there is just staggering. Think about it. Leaving everything familiar.
Your family, your culture, your whole sense of security.
All for a promise you haven't actually seen fulfilled yet. It's pure trust in the unseen over the seen.
And what a promise. I mean, God says, I will make you into a great nation,
And I will bless you.
and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. That's huge scope.
It's massive. But maybe even more striking than the promise itself is Abram's reaction, or lack of reaction, maybe.
Yeah, the source material points this out. He doesn't argue. He doesn't ask for like a 5-year plan or some guarantees.
Probably goes back something.
Goes that kind of obedience. It's more than just moving house, isn't it? It's total surrender.
Absolutely. And here's something this source highlights that kind of stops you in your tracks.
Okay.
God picks a 75-year-old guy
Right.
with no kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To start this great nation, I mean, humanly speaking, that's not your ideal candidate profile.
Not even close. And that's the insight, isn't it?
Yeah.
God's plans don't seem to depend on our resumes or our, perceived capabilities.
It's about his covenant, his promise.
Exactly. It rests on his faithfulness and the person's willingness to trust, not their qualifications.
So Abram, Sarai, his nephew Lot, they pack everything up, all their possessions, their whole life, really.
And they head out towards Canaan. And when they arrive, this is interesting. What's the first thing he does?
He builds altars.
Right. Not a palace, not a fortress to secure his position. Altars.
Places of worship. It immediately signals his priority, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging God, honoring the name of the Lord who brought him there. Such a contrast to, say, the Babel story earlier in Genesis, where the goal was making a name for themselves.
That's a great point. And these altars, they're not just symbolic gestures.
No, the source suggests they become like markers, memorials,
Testimonies to God's faithfulness up to that point.
and declarations of trust for the future. Like physical reminders. God got me here, God will sustain me. Milestones of worship, as you said.
And this whole episode, it marks a real turning point in the Genesis narrative.
Huge pivot. We shift from these big universal stories, creation, the flood, Babel, all of humanity.
To something much more personal, a specific covenant with one individual and his family.
Yeah, it moves from the broad theme of human rebellion to the focused story of one person's obedience, chosen by God to initiate something new.
And the source connects this directly to God's bigger picture, right? His redemptive plan.
It frames Abram's call as like step one in this long unfolding plan to bless and restore humanity. A plan that, from a Christian perspective, reading this, points all the way to Christ.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, so wrapping up these thoughts from Abram's call. Maybe a question for you listening.
Yeah, definitely something to think about. What might you need to leave behind? Could be comforts, could be familiar ways of thinking, could be, well, anything really.
To follow that call, that nudge, that thing that feels right, even if it doesn't quite add up logically.
And related to that, are you building altars in your life? Moments or practices of remembering God's faithfulness, of worship.
Or is the default more like clinging to the comfort zone, the familiar?
It's an ancient story, but wow, those questions about faith, trust, and leaving the familiar, they still feel incredibly relevant today, don't they?
They really do. Lots to chew on there.